everyone. I'm Anne Frost, host of the I Thought I Knew How podcast and online International Fiber Festival, which will be kicking off on May 1st and will last for 8 days as we visit the American South, Atlantic Canada, Norway, Poland, Cornwall, Italy, Bulgaria, and Morocco, all from the comfort of our home Wi-Fi. On May 8th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be having a special live event to end the festival. Irene Waggener, author of Keepers of the Sheep, Knitting in Morocco's High Atlas and Beyond, will be meeting with us to talk about learning the knitting techniques and insights from the shepherds of the High Atlas Mountains. I will stick a link in the notes below to take you right to the book if you'd like to pick up a copy. It's a truly wonderful book. There is a link to register for the event down below. Also, make sure you get signed up so you get a reminder to log in when the time comes. As part of the event, we will be working on knitting a hat together using the yarn we have, the needles we have, and our bodily proportions, rather than a pattern to guide us through the process. As we end the online International Fiber Festival with this event, we will also be engaging in a new project. As a podcaster, I recently interviewed Shira Blumenthal, the driving force behind Hat Not Hate, which is an anti-bullying initiative sponsored by Lion Brand Yarn to deliver blue hats to school children, along with a special assembly about putting an end to bullying. I'll put a link below to the episode so you can hear more about the program if it's new to you. We will kick off a knit along to work on hats to donate to Hat Not Hate at the festival closing event by using blue yarn to knit our hats. Knit as many blue hats as you like to donate to Hat Not Hate by May 31st. Post a picture of them to the I Thought I Knew How Facebook group or on Instagram using the hashtags Hat Not Hate and I Thought I Knew How, so that I'm sure to see them. And you will be entered for one of two prizes. A US-based participant will be chosen to win $50 worth of natural fiber Lion Brand yarns mailed directly to their home. And an international participant will be chosen to win a PDF copy of Top 24 Morehouse Tops to cover young and old. International participants, it's up to you whether you want to mail your hats in to Hat Not Hate, or if you'd like, you can donate them to a local charity that can use them. American participants, I will put a link down below for you to get the mailing address to donate your hats. As I said before, you need to post photos of your hats between May 8th, when we start, and May 31st to be entered to win, and I'll announce the two winners on June 1st. Then be sure to get your donations into the mail. The hat we work on at the event on May 8th is knit from the top down using 5 double-pointed needles. And in order to use the method Irene will show us, you do need to start your hat this way. However, you are welcome to come to the event and knit along with us no matter what you're working on. I know this method is new to some people, so I wanted to give you a demonstration on how to get started. If you are already really comfortable starting a hat from the top down, use the slider bar at the bottom of the video to skip to the end of the demonstration, because I do have more to share with you about the event, including a way to get some free and reduced price yarns if you're going to participate in knitting for Hat Not Hate. First of all, when I say that you can use the yarn you have and the needles you have, I mean it. Don't overthink this. Do a little stash diving and see what you have. If you'll be knitting for Hat Not Hate, the hats need to be at least 75% blue, so keep that in mind. But you can do this hat at the event with literally any yarn from lace weight to bulky. It's just that, a lace weight like this one is going to take you longer to knit than like the 2-strand sport that I have here. And you can see this different sizes in the yarn. If I was knitting this with the lace weight, I would need a smaller size needle, more stitches to do it. It's going to take longer. So that's just the only consideration as far as what yarn you end up using. I am going to be demonstrating today with some Morehouse Merino 2-strand. The website recommends that I use a US size 3 to 5 to knit with this, but I'm a notoriously tight knitter, so I'm going to cast on using some 7s, which are 4.5 millimeter needles. And as I said, this method is a 5 DPN method that we are going to be learning. Now, if you just want to watch on the day, you are welcome to do that. If you want to start with the 5 DPNs and then after you see the method, You can get to a certain point and then switch to some 16-inch circulars in the same size. That's also another option that you have. I would encourage you to go ahead and give this a try. People have been knitting with double pointed needles for ages and ages. Circular needles are relatively new to the knitting world, and so I promise you it is possible to do this, even if it's outside of your wheelhouse for right now. So I am going to use a simple cast on method to cast on 8 stitches over 4 of the needles. The 5th needle will be my working needle when the time comes, so I'm just going to set that aside. So to get started, I'm going to use a slip knot, and then the yarn connected to the ball will be what we use to cast on. So you don't need to leave a super long tail. You just want to have enough of a tail to weave in later. So I do my slip knot by making a loop around my fingers and then having the short end cross the back, and I pick that short end up, and then pull on the working end, and you can see that starts to close the knot, and I'm left with that loop. I'm going to take my first needle and put that in the loop, hold on to the end, and pull until it's firm against the needle, not super tight. We want to be able to knit into that later. So that's going to count as my first stitch. Now, the simple cast on really lives up to its name. I'm going to start by having my working yarn, which is what is connected to the ball, loosely held in my 4 fingers and my thumb in a thumbs up position. Good job, everybody. Now, I'm very happy about you. Good job. I am going to disapprove of you. I am going to give you a thumbs down, but only briefly. I'm going to thumbs back up again. And you can see that motion of taking a thumbs up to a thumbs down over the yarn and a thumbs up again makes a loop right there around my thumb. I'm just going to take the tip of my needle here, put it underneath and into that, take my thumb out and just pull tightly. And I have 2 stitches. Now I need to cast on 8 stitches and I have 4 needles. So I'm going to do 2 on each needle. I'm going to take my next needle. I'm going to put it on the left-hand side of the needle I started casting onto. I'm going to do the same thing, hold this loosely, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up. I have that loop. And then just with the point of my new needle, I'm going to go into that loop, take my thumb out, pull it snug, not too tight. So you can see, if I just turn this a little bit, you can see I just have a little bit of space there between the 2 needles. Okay, and I'm going to do it one more time to get that second one on. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, put it through just the second point and pull it snug. Now I'm going to take my 3rd needle, again, put it to the left, hold it loosely, hold the working yarn loosely in my left hand, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, put just the tip of the 3rd needle in, pull my thumb out and pull that snug, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, put just the 3rd tip in, remove my thumb and pull snugly, and we're going to repeat the process with the 4th needle. Okay, hold the yarn gently, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, put the tip of the needle in, remove my thumb, pull snugly, thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, put just the 4th tip in, remove my thumb, pull snugly. Now I need to join this in the round, and I need to make sure I'm not going to twist. So I'm going to lay these out actually in a square. So I have my first needle here. I'm going to lay it down with my working tail coming from the right and the connection to the next needle on the left. This one I'm going to turn slightly and you will see my working yarn coming from underneath and the yarn from the first needle underneath, the yarn going to the next needle on the top. I can just lay this one flat where it is. And again, the yarn from the previous needle coming up, the yarn from the next needle going to the next one. Let me get my yarn out of the way here. And then I'm going to take my working yarn, or my tail down here. And then I have, again, the yarn from the previous needle here. And then my working yarn is going to come over in a moment, and we are going to close that connection over here. Now this is the important part where we want to take a moment and make sure nothing is twisted. I'm going to slide everything to the middle of the needles so I can show you this real quick. Now looking at this, sorry, let me get my ends out of the way here. So there's my working yarn. There's my starting yarn, and here's my working yarn. Now, looking at this, these are the undersides. This little ridge is the underside of my stitches, and I have a ridge on the inside, an untwisted yarn to the ridge on the inside, an untwisted yarn to the ridge on the inside, an untwisted yarn to the ridge on the inside. Okay, so nothing's twisted here. Now, I am going to pick this up. I have my 5th needle here. This is where I need to start my round. So I'm going to slide this over so that it is near the tip, and I'm going to pick up that needle. This other needle that the yarn is coming off of, people get so concerned, what do I do with it all? It's okay. It's right there. You don't have to worry about this needle. What you're interested in is the working yarn. So this needle, you don't have to hold it. You can if you want to. I can have it in my left hand just sort of supported there. But the important thing that you're worried about is you are going to knit on this first needle again. And I know that's my first needle because that's the tail from when I cast on. So I'm going to go into that first stitch. I need to get closer to the tip. Going to go into that first stitch, going to work a knit stitch there, and now I am all joined in the round. And this 4th needle is flopping all over the place, and that's totally okay. The further along we get, the more these are going to be under control. I'm working the 2nd stitch now on the needle, and now both of the stitches from my 1st needle are now on my working needle, and my 1st needle now becomes my working needle. So I'm going to turn a little bit. I can see here that was my connecting yarn, connecting the 1st needle to the 2nd needle, and I see that it's right there coming to the 2nd needle. So I know that's the needle I need to be working with. I'm just letting all the others go. Slide this to the tip, those 2 stitches. I'm going to knit 2 stitches from the 2nd needle onto my working needle. 1, 2, and now I'm going to go here to this 3rd needle. So the 2nd needle has, or my working needle is now my 2nd needle. I'm going to slide the stitches to the middle so they're just held there using friction, really. The 3rd needle, I've slid the stitches towards the tip. I'm going to knit 2. And again, I'm just letting all those other needles hang and do their thing. It's fine. Okay, they're going to get more tamed as time goes on. There we go. 1st stitch worked. 2nd stitch worked. So really, this is an exercise in ignoring what you are not working with. Okay, and now I'm back to my 4th needle. I'm just holding my 4th needle. My 3rd needle I just worked with, I'm letting it go. Take my working needle, and I'm going to do 2 stitches here. Okay, and this completes our first round. Now, how do I know that this completes our first round? Because there's that working tail from when I cast on again. Now, if I take all of this and lay it down, sort of move everything to the middle, right? I can see I have my knit fabric is starting to grow in there. Okay, now just going to move this out of the way. I am going to do another round, and this time as we go around, we are going to work an increase in each of the stitches as we go around. So on this next round, we are going to be knitting front and back on all of the stitches. So this is the first needle in the round again. And I'm going to go into the first needle, again, just ignoring all those other ones. And I'm going to knit front. Whoops, I split the yarn. Hold on just a second. Okay, I'm going to knit front, and then I'm going to go to the back and knit into the back of the stitch before I take it off the needles. And then same thing with the second one. I will insert the needle, knit to the front, and then before I take it off, I'll knit into the back of the loop as well. So now I have 4 stitches here. Now I'm going to go to my next needle. Now this looks like I have 3 stitches, but I'm going to show you what happens when we get down there. This is something, I'm actually glad this happened. This happens all the time when we're working on multiple DPNs. What has happened is I have just caught that transferring strand that goes from one needle to the next. And I'll show you that when we get to it, so that if you see that happen, don't panic. It's a super easy fix. So again, I'm going to knit front and back in the 2 actual stitches that are on here. So knit front, knit back, knit front, knit back. Whoops, didn't quite catch the yarn. I'm not a huge fan of bamboo. Now, I have that extra strand caught there. What do? You just pull your needle out. And that goes back to just being what it was meant to be. So there's my 4 on that one. I'm going to do the same thing on needle 3. Knit front. Knit back. Knit front. Knit back. And then this is my 4th needle. I don't know if you can see, but after I do each needle, I sort of slide the needles or the stitches down on the needle. That just helps them get sort of gripped by the needle, and it's less chance that it will slip out on you. Knit front, knit back, and I know I'm back to the beginning again because there's the starting tail. And again, if I just lay it flat real quick, you don't have to lay it flat every time. I'm just doing this to show you. You can see that our center of our hat has grown. Now this round, I'm not going to show every stitch because this round, the 3rd round, is just to knit every stitch. So I'm going to probably just speed this up. So there we go. Now, every other row is going to be an increase row, and going forward, the increase rows are going to be the same. And that is that we will knit a front and back on the first and last stitches of each needle as we go around. And the pattern is going to continue this way as we knit the crown. So you will do 1 increase row, one increase row where you knit front and back before taking the stitch off, then knit all the way to the end of the needle to the last stitch, and then knit front and back again. And we will do this on all 4 needles. And then the next round, you'll just knit around, no increases. So front and back, knit to the last stitch, knit front, then go to the back loop, knit into the back loop, I like metal needles usually because they have sharper tips, I find. But bamboo works really well for wool because it tends to grip the wool a little bit better. So front and back, knit 1, knit 2, and then front and back. So that is the pattern for knitting our crown. So I did get to the beginning of the round again. So my next round would be just to knit all the way around. The round after that, I would increase, knit to the last stitch, increase, 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 and then do another knit round. Now, how far should you go while you wait for the final event? I would go until when you lay this down, you have roughly 4 inches across. So most people's pinkies are about 3 inches across. So lay it down, do like just a gentle measure with your pinky. So it looks like we have maybe inch and a quarter so far. Keep repeating those 2 rows until it's just a little bit wider than your pinky, not much wider than that though. And then stop and wait for the event on May 8th at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Now, I promised you a few deals to help you out if you're going to be doing the knit along for Hat Not Hate. Linda Reese from Knit New Haven in New Haven, Connecticut is a big supporter of Hat Not Hate. She is offering to provide blue yarn while supplies last to participants in this knit along. If you are near New Haven, Connecticut, you are welcome to pop into the store. It's at 26 Whitney Avenue in New Haven, Connecticut. Or if you're not local but you're willing to pay the shipping costs, contact Linda through the website at knitnewhaven.com and she's happy to stick some in the mail to you. Also, Morehouse Farm is offering 10% off their 3-strand worsted yarn along with free shipping. To take advantage of this offer, put everything in your shopping cart, then click to check out. In that first screen, enter New How as the coupon code. In the next screen, look for the shipping section and change it to free shipping before you finally place your order. You do have to manually select free shipping in order for this to work. The New How coupon code will be good until April 30th. And again, the free yarn offer from Knit New Haven for participants in this Hat Not Hate knit along is only good while supplies last. Remember, you can find all the links that you need in the information below this video on YouTube, including the link to register for the final event on May 8th. I hope to see you there.